Well, I think the philosophy of the artists we like to show in the gallery is we really look for artists that we believe are the best of their kind. So at the moment we show about 17 different artists with different styles, but we believe that they're all the best of their kind and artists that outside of Paris or New York you won't find in other galleries. I'm drawn to art as a child, visiting museums. Probably the first museum that I went to was the Brooklyn Museum, and the art of the Americas and Africa as a child interested me, and just continued from there. I've been with Axelle Gallery for almost 12 years, starting in New York, in Soho, and moved to Boston about 6 years ago to direct the Boston Axelle Gallery. Fabienne is one of our collector's favorite artists, and we're excited to have her during the holiday season. And this show will run through the new year, through the beginning of January.
Well, I was definitely very much influenced by my father, but I mean the influence is just as any child would get influenced by his parents, in whatever field it is. So it was all natural, and it was not decided. Anything wasn't decided. It just happened. I started painting, staying right by his side as a very small child, and I would even sleep in his arms, and everything happened naturally over the years. And it was just an obvious choice when I got into my early 20s after finishing my studies at the business school, which I actually didn't study art, but I had the best teacher at home, I guess, and so that's how I started, as a professional painter. Okay, I enjoy painting small formats for two reasons. The first reason is pretty obvious because of my style. It's very much detailed, and I couldn't imagine making large canvases. They would take me for weeks and weeks. So that's the first reason. And the second reason is that I like the idea of saying much with very little media. Well, when I start painting, I always start out of something. It can be books, it can be photographs that I've taken myself, it can be memories. I need something to start from, but I am too much of a free-minded person to stick to it. A few minutes, half hour on it, and then I'm just going to take off and go wherever I have to go to try to somehow get closer to what I could dream of, because my painting is all about dreaming. Yes, I paint every day, 6 to 7 days a week. Usually I paint in the morning, starting very early for like 4 to 5 hours, and in the afternoons, for many reasons, fatigue and the light that's not so good anymore, I rarely paint on the afternoon, maybe just an hour or two. Of course my dad is my #1 inspiration, but I'm also very inspired by the French Impressionists, definitely, and I very much so like the Japanese, what we call estampes japonaises, Japanese, early 20th century. And I'm actually not the first French artist to be inspired by their current, and lots of even the Impressionists were themselves, and Van Gogh also was inspired by them, because it is that same idea, a lot of emotion with very little, medium. All right, Boston is very special for me as an artist because it's where it all started. I was actually very young. I had just graduated from my business school, and I had ran back to my easel as I always had planned to. And so my first show took place in Boston, actually, on this street. and it was in 1994, so it's 20 years ago. So I'm really excited to be here, and especially I'm here with my oldest daughter, so she gets a kick out of the city too, and learning about all this what's starting to be history.